Furiosa grows up in a lush oasis hidden within the vast desert, surrounded by her tribe. One day, while foraging for fruit with a friend, she notices a group of strangers in the forest. Curious but cautious, she sneaks up and sabotages one of their motorcycles. Just as she moves to disable another, she is spotted. She blows her tribe's emergency whistle and flees, but the strangers capture her, binding her and taking her away. Her distress signal reaches the tribe, and they immediately mobilize for her rescue. Her mother, Mary, arms herself, mounts a horse, and sets off in pursuit. She chases the kidnappers tirelessly, managing to kill one and steal his motorcycle to continue the pursuit. Meanwhile, Furiosa, ever resourceful, bites through the fuel line of the bike she's tied to. The kidnappers don't notice the damage and ride on as Mary relentlessly follows. As night falls, the kidnappers pause to check their motorcycles. They realize that someone is closing in on them and argue over whether to leave the girl behind. Furiosa seizes the moment, freeing her legs and making a desperate escape attempt. However, they catch her again before she can get far. By morning, Mary finally catches up. Through the scope of her rifle, she takes a precise shot, killing one of the kidnappers. The last remaining bandit, sensing danger, secures Furiosa to his back as a human shield and rides straight to his gang's camp. Once there, chaos erupts as the gang members argue over what to do with the girl. The captor claims he has discovered a place of abundance, igniting excitement among the group. They decide to take Furiosa to their leader, Dementis. Mary, disguised in a fallen bandit's clothes, infiltrates the camp under the cover of darkness. Meanwhile, Dementis tries to extract information from Furiosa, but she remains silent. Resorting to deception, he orders that she be bathed and fed, falsely promising to return her home. As Furiosa is taken to a tent, she encounters a servant who, upon seeing Mary in disguise, cowers in fear. Swearing not to betray them, the servant remains silent. But as soon as Mary and Furiosa attempt their escape, the alarm is raised. A chase ensues. Knowing they cannot outrun the entire gang together, Mary orders Furiosa to flee alone. She hands her daughter a peach seed, making her promise to plant it and protect their homeland. Reluctantly, Furiosa escapes while Mary bravely makes a final stand against the horde. Hiding nearby, Furiosa watches in horror as her mother is captured and brutally executed by Dementis and his men. When he demands that she reveal the location of her home in exchange for freedom, she remains silent, consumed by grief. Furious, Dementis locks her in a cage, forcing her to witness his savage arena battles. Over time, Dementis tries to manipulate her, gifting her a teddy bear and offering education through his historian. Though she learns to read and write, she secretly tattoos the path home on her arm, plotting her escape. One day, Dementis and his gang, still searching for the fabled land of plenty, encounter a mysterious warrior from the Citadel, a fortified stronghold ruled by Immortan Joe. Believing this must be the paradise he seeks, Dementis leads his horde there. Upon arrival, Dementis attempts to rally the people against Immortan Joe. However, Joe's warriors retaliate with devastating force, using chained harpoons to seize Dementis' vehicles. Furiosa's cage is lifted into the air, but she is rescued by Dementis' historian, who clings to her as they flee. Determined to gain power, Dementis regroups and sets his sights on Gastown, one of Immortan Joe's vital fuel outposts. Disguising his men as Citadel warriors, he tricks the guards into opening the gates, seizing control of the town. Now, with leverage over Immortan Joe, he demands supplies in exchange for peace. During negotiations, Joe notices Furiosa among the crowd. Sensing her importance, he inquires about her, and Dementis falsely claims she is his daughter. But for the first time since her capture, Furiosa speaks, accusing Dementis of murdering her mother. Intrigued by her defiance, Immortan Joe strikes a deal. Dementis can rule Gastown, but in return, he must surrender the girl. Furious, Dementis rips the teddy bear from Furiosa's hands as she is taken to the Citadel. There, she is placed among Joe's wives, witnessing firsthand the brutal realities of his rule. That night, after observing Joe's powerful son Rictus taking an interest in her, Furiosa shaves her head and crafts a wig adorned with the jingling bells she once wore in her hair, using it as a distraction to ensure her survival. Under her disguise, she integrates into the Citadel's workforce, becoming a skilled crane operator. To everyone, she is a mute, battle-scarred boy. No one suspects her true identity, except Rictus, who notices something familiar in her eyes but fails to piece it together.